2026. The chessboard has been flipped. The old game, democracy versus autocracy, is officially archived. The new doctrine from Washington is simpler and, for the global economy, much more dangerous. They call it Hemispheric Primacy. Basically, it means America is looking inward. The grand strategy is no longer about containing China across the Pacific. It is about dominating its own backyard. If your factory isn't in North America, you are no longer a partner. You are a liability. Your supply chain is now your front line, and your only insurance policy is a bet on a place that was never meant to be the front page, a leaky bunker called Penang.
So they run south. Intel, Infineon, Bosch. On paper, Penang is perfect. In 2024, Malaysia held 13% of the global market for chip packaging. It was the Silicon Valley of the East. Mr. Steve thought he was safe. He thought he was essential. But then the memo came. Subject: FY 2026 budget reallocation. The new tech security tariff imposes a 15% levy on advanced semiconductors assembled outside the Western Hemisphere. Effective date, April 1st, 2026. Mr. Steve reads the fine print. Headquarters in Santa Clara isn't sending more money. They are sending cuts. Penang has been officially recategorized. It is no longer a strategic hub. It is now a legacy site. But to understand why this budget cut is a death sentence, you have to understand the product. We're not talking about soldering wires in a garage. We're talking about advanced packaging. In 2026, the chip itself is not enough. To run AI models, to power the servers that run your life, you need to stack chips on top of chips. It is called CoWoS, chip on wafer on substrate. Imagine building a skyscraper where every floor is thinner than a human hair and every electrical connection must align perfectly by the nanometer. One speck of dust, one vibration from a passing truck, one drop of humidity, and a $50,000 processor becomes a worthless piece of glass. This requires extreme precision. It requires expensive climate control. It requires perfection. And Washington just told Mr. Steve to achieve that perfection with a discount budget. The abstract calculus of giants lands here, on Raju's shoulders. The targets are impossible. Maintain yield rate at 94%. Reduce labor cost by 12%. Reduce cost? How? The talent pool is empty. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the skilled labor shortage has hit a critical 40% gap. Why? Because Singapore is right next door. An engineer in Penang makes RM 4,500. That same engineer crosses the bridge to Singapore and makes SGD 3,500. That's RM 12,600. Triple the salary. The smart ones are gone. The experienced ones are gone. Who is left? Just Raju and a quota of migrant workers that Washington's new policy is actively starving. But let's be fair to Mr. Steve. He isn't a monster. He is just another gear in the machine. It is 4 a.m. in Penang, but on Wall Street, the market is just closing. Mr. Steve is on a Zoom call with the board of directors. They don't ask him about Raju, they don't ask him about Ahmed or the humidity levels. They only look at one thing, the stock price. Steve, they say, Nvidia is up 200%. We are flat. Investors are asking why we have so much capital tied up in a risky zone like the Malacca Strait. Liquidate the assets. Show us efficiency. Mr. Steve looks at his screen. He knows that if he defends Penang, he loses his bonus. Maybe he loses his job. So he does what any survivalist would do. He passes the pain down the ladder, straight to Raju.
This is the reality of the backup plan. It's not a clean room, it's a pressure cooker. Raju walks down the hallway. His ears are ringing with Mr. Steve's threats. And then he sees it. A mop bucket blocking the sterile zone. Ahmed, I told you, Zone A first, then Zone B. Ahmed looks up. He is tired. He works 12 hours a shift. He doesn't have the energy to argue. So he does the only thing he knows, the head bobble. A gentle wobble. I hear you, boss. But to Raju, whose nerves are fried by American metrics, it looks like defiance. Stop shaking your head. Is it yes? Is it no? Stop acting like a villager. Raju kicks the bucket. Water spills. It's not about the bucket. It's about the fact that Raju knows, no matter how hard he yells, he cannot fix the math. You cannot get Singaporean output with a legacy budget. Silence. Raju stares at the spilled water. He breathes heavily. And then the realization hits him colder than the air conditioning. Why does he hate that head shake so much? Because 5 minutes ago, inside that glass office, Mr. Steve looked at Raju the exact same way. To Mr. Steve, Raju is just Ahmed with a tie. To the Americans, Malaysia is just a high-tech village. Raju was kicking Ahmed to prove he wasn't one of them, but the memo from Washington made it clear. You are all the same. You are just cheap labor. And this brings us to the real reason, the reason that is never written in the memo. The memo talks about tariffs and budgets, but the Pentagon talks about blockades. Look at the map. Penang sits right at the mouth of the Strait of Malacca, the busiest shipping lane in the world. In the event of a conflict, say over Taiwan or the South China Sea, that strait becomes a choke point. If a single destroyer parks in that channel, or if a hypersonic missile flies from the mainland, Penang is cut off. The chips sitting in Raju's warehouse will never reach California. The supply chain snaps. Mr. Steve knows this. The president knows this. They aren't just moving the factory to save money. They are moving the factory because they are preparing for war. They are evacuating the assets before the first shot is fired. And Raju is just the collateral damage left behind to turn off the lights. But here is the final joke, Mr. President. You think you can run away from this? You think pulling the plug on Penang solves the problem? Let's look at your Fortress America. Let's look at Arizona. Who is pouring the concrete in the Phoenix desert heat? Who is cleaning the bathrooms at Intel, Ohio?
It's not John Smith from the suburbs. It is Jose. It is Miguel. You are building a fortress that relies on the very people you refuse to respect. In Penang, it's Raju and Ahmed. In Arizona, it's Mike and Jose. It's the same story, just a different flag. Moving the machines is easy, sir, but fixing the soul of the workforce, that is a yield rate you cannot calculate.
I'm Lalamulu. See you in the next catch.